Wondering if thousands of miles away the sky's just as blue. It's as if I'm stuck in yesterday when I'm thinking of you. 'Cause when you have your morning coffee, I'm turning out the lights so I could dream. And when you smile through the screen, I wish you could be with me. So I lay my head to rest when the sun is rising. I'll start a brand new day when the moon is shining. I long to be with you in all the places you have been. So today I am time traveling. Da-dun-dun-dun. Oh, today I am time traveling. I've been sailing for many years, tried to find you and face my fears. Yes, I've been dreaming far away for that sunrise by the bay, but by the sea I'm alright.
人がいっぱいいる。There are so many people.
Yeah, these people they are going on a boat and they will taste oysters.
Yeah, I've heard about it, but I've never tried that.
I've been wondering where'd you go? Tried to find you on the road. I crossed the waters and left my home. I looked all over for
This is only down there. It's restaurants up there. It's private houses. People living there.
I'm alright by the sea. I'm alright by the sea.
European food center.
American?
I don't know.
We could drive along an ocean reflecting the sun, or make a bed of green
You remember
atop
how it was
a
before?
wide open scene. Under a canvas of blue, I would draw ever nearer to you. To feel the dew on your
猫ちゃんがいっぱい来た。
skin is how it would begin. For summer is for falling in love. 猫ちゃんすごい人懐っこい。寄ってきますもんね。ああ。There's the warmth of your gaze. Raise your glass to mine, and as we drink, we would lock eyes. So we could disregard the thought of it ever having to part. For summer is for falling in love. like the last breath of a sunset right before the day is dead. But maybe the heat of today could keep even winter away. So I'll remember your life.
かわいい。 かわいすぎ。
Funny creatures.
Yeah. And you have a way to do with the cats.
すごいね。どうして
なんだかわかんないですけ
You
ど
speak cat language?
Yes, of course.
How does she know my innermost secrets? Measure of my heart, written in sequence. And the light from her spirit, it always shines. She's in my heart, but she got no time. How does she know? Will she take me for a ride? Do you believe we can find the answers in our minds? I've been waking up from dreams that used to play. There's no looking back on love, it's too late. How does she know my rhythm and frequency? The pulse of my breath reflecting like sequins. And the light from her spirit, it always shines. She's in my heart, but she got no time. How does she know? Will she take me for a ride? Do you believe we can find the answers in our minds? I've been waking up from dreams that used to play. There's no looking back on love, it's too late. How does she know? Will she take me for a ride? Do you believe we can find the answers in our minds? I've been waking up from dreams that used to play. There's no looking back on love, it's too late.
マトゥシコ。
Hold on. Jag tycker den går så bra. Kiken går så bra. Många är då på Julia nästan. Nästan. Jag som verkar så rakt att börja på annat sätt. Ja meni broj ostao onaj Kiken. Broj spremno koji je Kiken, ne sjećam se sada. Molim.
Well done.
Okay.
Hello.
I will be somewhere here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Show you the wine cellar and after you contact, you can take some. I got to show you statement. Fantastic.
This is actually the second time for me, but this is the first time.
Yeah, first time for me.
The cell takes 2,000 square meters and we can make a whole circle. So you can follow me. Here we have tastings for bigger groups. We have 6 rooms for the tastings. Here in the cellar we keep our wine that we call Vingac, and Vingac is the king of the red wines here in Croatia. It's most famous wine. In the bottles you can keep that wine 15 to 20 years, even more, because you keep it here in these old bottles from 1 to 10 years. We have 5 selection of Vingac. We have Vingac Classic, Vingac Reserva, Vingac Royal, Vingac Superior, and Vingac Imperial.
わあ、すごい。
And this is the biggest room here in the cellar.
わあ。
So on the side and in these caves you can see some bottles, that's all Vingac.
うーん。
The barrels are made of oak, but we buy barrels from France, Spain, Portugal, mostly from here from Croatia. Some are in oak. wine, but 90% red and only 10% are the white wines. So Atavas is the park in the Torah winery and the toilet is
I assume. So
yes, the one. So here we also have tastings for some big groups. And over there you can see our symbol, the two donkeys. On each of the labels we see the two donkeys. There are several of this one because the donkeys in the past who carried the grapes from region vineyards to this village. And because of that very nice. And this one was finished 7 years ago and then it's going back for over a year. It's 400 liters wine. And once in each state you can take 5,000 liters of wine and you can make $8,000 of each.
what kind of grapes?
So for the white ones we have Boschip, Rucatat, Chardonnay, and we have one wine which is great. They are Boschip, Chardonnay, and Grashwina. So my wife has winners in Savonia, and from there we have Boschip.
I didn't know that you guys also have to go Chardonnay.
That's our new wine,
Okay.
maybe in a few years. So here you can see the number of openings. So that comes down to large. Here in the middle we can see the two donkeys. And the region vineyards it's on the other side of the hill between the Stag and the Roche. So that's the smallest one region in Croatia.
Very famous.
Yeah.
特にここはコースとかがあるわけじゃなくて自分で選んで飲む感じなのかな。あ、なるほど。
Do you need some water?
Yes, that would be nice. Yeah, thank you.
これが
これがクラシック。
クラシック。これが
端っこがレゼルマだと真ん中はロイヤルだと。
そうか。いやちょっと2人で飲んだくれてみてください。はい、お願いします。
はい。
今試すのは
今試すのが、あれです。ディンガチのクラシック。ここは、この3つが、ディンガチという、すぐそっちにある山の、本当にすごい急斜面のところで育てられている、クラバツマリのディンガチというのが特別な地域の名前になっている。その中でも、今、ランクを分けた状態で飲み比べをしよう。そういう感じでなので、クラシックと、ロイヤルとレゼルバーですね。おすすめこちらでございます。はい。こういう順番に。 意外にいいと思います。ちょっと香りだけでも嗅いでいただくと。香り嗅ぎ比べよう。あ、これ。
そうかですか。
ないです。デンガチの、双葉つまりでもデンガチに作ってるやつで結構すごい特徴的な味があって、香りで言うと、スミレの花とか、バラでも私は個人的にはなんか、乾かしたバラの花びらみたいな香りだなって感じで、ちょっと乾いた感じの香りがあって、あと、これは誰も同意してくれないんですけどね、わらばんしみたいな。いい意味でわらばんしみたいな香り。
なんかわかる気がします。
結構やっぱり、これ多分普通なんだと思うんですけど、酸味があって、フルーティーさもあるけど、やっぱりその中でも飲みやすさが若い感じ。まだ全然若い。やっぱりそうだね。飲み比べた時にこっちの方丸みが増してる感じがします。目当て取れない。色も
嬉しそう。
嬉しい。これがやっぱり一番好きかもしれない。なんですかね。特徴的に言うとこっちの方が分かりやすいというか、プラバツマリって飲んだ方がいいんだろうって聞かれた時に、多分これを飲んだ時に、これがプラバツマリなんだなっていう感じの特徴は出やすいんですよね。だけど、もう熟成させたりとか、あとグレープの中でグレードの高いやつとかを使っていくと、ワインとしての完成度が上がってくるので、逆に言うと、そのデンガチのこってりした個性みたいなのは、ちょっと丸くなっていく感じだと思うんですよ。なので、ワインとしての完成度は間違いなくこれが一番高いと思うんだけれども、プラバツマリの特徴で言うと、これが一番わかりますね。ちょっと飲んでいただいて、
はーい。
喋っていく感じになる。いい香りですよ。
ちょっと想像と違った。
なんか本当にすごい特徴的な香りになるんですよ。
ちょっとこっちが上品で、変な香りに変わりました。
めっちゃ嬉しい。
こっち向いて、こっち向いて。
すごい形に。すごいスパークリングで。甘みもありますね。で、なんか、ちょっとですね。なんか豆腐の方にちょっとシナモン。
バラバンシ。
バラバンシ。バラバンシ。バラバンシ。
バラバンシっぽい味が。美味しそうだった。言葉にならないですけど。
でも私合わせる料理が全然変わりますので。余韻が長い。
本当に特徴的に分かりやすいのは間違いないところだと思うんですけど、完成度は別に同じこと思う。2回も
でもあれですね、なんかブランドで出ても絶対わからないかもしれない。
いつもの
そうそう。
へ
これ飲んだらジュースかと思うぐらい飛びすぎが。
え。じゃあ私もちょっといただきます。
やっぱりクロアチアのダルマチアの中でさ、何箇所かこういうとてつもない崖
Find God's legs
うんふん。
in the middle of the nowhere. It's nice.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. 綺麗。
And that is Korčula. It's called Korčula Islands. So see everything. This
蒸し方が同じ房の中でもすごい違うものなんですよ。だから同じ時にとっても緑のもあってレーズンみたいにもう枯れてるのもあってっていう状態になるので、もう元々の特性としてで、それでこれだけの濃さがあるところで取って毎
Okay,
日
just a second.
はーい。
リストランの方がちょっと上手。こっちの方がちょっと癖がないけど、そうですね。よくコルチェラのワインもそうだし、オリーブオイルもすごい美味しいんですけど、リストランのが好きな人。
So typical when you want to smell the flowers, you will always recognize, but by flavor, change different. So yeah, this is
マトゥシコ。
Sve ove kvačke što vidite tu vam nisu bude i one
Eighteen. Thank you. Sorry.
Very different. Is this no, this
You can do it now.
全然違う香り。
They are both slow. This is actually fucking good.